little bit of background. I became a facilitator at Andy's Man Club, a men's mental health support peer-to-peer anti-suicide group is what they are, apparently. In January 2023, I think was the first Cumbrian meeting. It was brought up to Workington by someone that had been working with AMC for a year, trying to get it going, and he definitely had the best of intent bringing it here. I went down to the first meeting where we were introduced to the now head of groups, Neil Wayne, who was in charge of setting it up. And what a fucking cock. You know those people who have been bullied and then finally they grow up and they get a little bit of authority and they need everyone to kiss the ring? Just a bully, just an awful person. Anyway, he does the introduction. Immediately through the door, he is insulting another mental health group that had been set up locally. It was called Mind Your Marries in Whitehaven. They'd started it totally independently and they just wanted to help people. But Neil Wayne was all about, well, they're just fucking shit, we'll steamroll them. It isn't about helping people, it is a media machine. It is about the Andy's Man Club organisation. That's all they care about. They don't care about helping men, they don't care about letting people talk. As we will soon get to. We've got a lot of emails and stuff to go through, but there's just a bit of background. So I was asked to become a facilitator rather quickly. I have been on, I don't want to call it a mental health journey. I have been on my own. I've been living my life. I am neurodivergent. Life's not easy for everyone. Life shouldn't be easy for anyone, to be honest, if you're doing it properly. But anyway, I'd done a lot of research. I need to understand things. I needed to understand people. I needed to understand why there was this big fucking facade, why it was all lies that people tell. And I could see, like, this is one of the things about autism. People are like, oh, don't understand social interactions, don't understand people, don't understand emotions, don't have emotions. And you're like, no, actually, I think what you'll find is I understand them fucking better than you. It's you who doesn't understand. It's you who won't confront what you need to within yourself to get better, which you absolutely can. From depression and other things, you can get better, but it takes accountability and ownership to do so, and a lot of hard work, a lot of hard work. So I was ecstatic that there was this organisation coming up where I could go and share, possibly learn from others, be mentored by older men who had kind of struggled and had to learn what it is to be a man. Fuck me. Not the case. They don't exist, yeah? If you are actually improving your mental health, stay well away from any mental health support, because it isn't about getting better for them, it's about making you dependent, yeah? They need you to be dependent on them. The drugs from the NHS, the counselling services from the NHS, or charities like these, yeah? All they're bothered about is their immediate coverage and keep the numbers growing. You shouldn't want anyone attending your anti-suicide group. You should want it to go down to zero. But instead what they do is they make you dependent. They do this by love bombing you through the door and making it so that the only place you'll ever be understood is here by us. And then they isolate you from your family. And then as soon as you know it, you're trapped in this boys' club and you have to toe the line. Yeah, it's the same as the leftists. It's the same as any cult. Because that's what it is, a cult. It was certainly a cult of Neil Wayne, because you need it to, for it to be defined technically as a cult, it needs to come under one person. Now, that was Neil Wayne's boys' club for us up in Cumbria, but then, well, we'll read the email that I sent to Andy's Man Club, shall we? I'll leave some names and stuff out. Other names, I'm absolutely leaving in. Dear safeguarding team and trustees, after a great deal of deliberation and discussion, I find myself having to write this email. The first thing I must draw your attention to is that I am the same Daniel that has been a facilitator at Workington and went to launch your Whitehaven club. However, I must first reach out in my professional capacity at Cumbria Council for Voluntary Services. So that is another charities on the whole are fucked, right? My eyes are well and truly opened. If you're given money or whatever, it is a joke. But the point of Cumbria CVS was to help support other charities. They've got like people who are experts in volunteer law and stuff like that. So their aim is to help other charities, which sounds really noble, but it isn't. It's a bunch of fucking meetings on team meetings on team meetings on team meetings, and they do nothing but go for coffee and have cakes and waste all the money. Yeah? Everywhere. Corruption is everywhere. All this scummy shit is everywhere. We need to bring back some standards. There is a new facilitator at Workington, Andrew James Quinn. We've now learned that he was formerly Andrew James Brown. So if anyone has ever dealt with this Scottish fat twat, I'm not going to put a picture up, that might be a bit too far. But, well, if any of this behaviour sounds normal, maybe raise that with someone. Mr. Quinn had expressed interest in forming a community interest company at a car garage to offer mental health support, the next step in Andy's Man Club, as he put it. Great idea, yeah? These things where you come together and you do like pottery and stuff like that, whilst you're in a safe environment where you can openly talk and it will not be used against you. That's important to remember, Mike. They're really good. Yeah, because when you're engaging your motor part of your brain, it leaves the other part to actually just relax a bit. A bit like, have you ever seen that Big Bang episode where Sheldon needs to go and do menial tasks so he can work out the bigger task? It's a real thing. So I thought this was great because, well, all the pottery stuff and that, it's all aimed at women. But if you want to get a garage and say, hey lads, come about, fuck about on cars, we'll talk about your mental health and we'll all support each other as we get better through exercise and taking accountability for our lives and actually making the lifestyle changes necessary to get out of these depressions, because that's the only way that you do it properly. All these pills and that, it's just Brave New World. However, it soon became apparent to myself, colleagues and other professionals that Mr. Quinn is an opportunist with many different observations and claims giving us cause for great concern. Looking into some of his claims, such as setting up the West Cumbria Kidney Patients Association that he raised thousands of pounds for before handing it to someone more qualified, followed up by saying they had pledged £45,000 for the new CIC. Mr. Quinn did not want to accept this because of his moral stance. The reality is that the only evidence of this organisation is a Facebook page created by Mr. Quinn and his wife that did hold at least one fundraising event, advertised as helping their charity that never existed. It was never on Company's House. It never existed. Scumbag. Utter fucking scumbag. The biggest concern at present with relation to AMC is modern slavery. Currently, an attendee of Workington with learning difficulties is volunteering with Mr. Quinn. This isn't the case, as he has been promised a pickup truck that doesn't exist and a job as long as he does as he is told. This currently includes working full-time, often working unsupervised on vehicles without the skill set or knowledge base or training supposed to be provided by Mr. Quinn, who is also not qualified. This guy fucking wasn't a mechanic, didn't know anything. This attendee has tried to get off his chest, that's the words that they use. Question 3 at Andy's Man Club is, do you have anything to get off your chest? So this poor guy that had gone to Andy's Man Club because he was struggling with life, as many people are, had been targeted by this fucking scumbag, Andy Quinn, at Andy's Man Club. He has then tried to talk about the situation because he wanted to work it out. Yeah? He knew things weren't right, as people often do when they're dealing with narcissists. You know something's not quite right, but it could be difficult to put it all together, especially when they're good at it, yeah? Mr. Quinn was a scumbag, but he was fucking good at it, yeah? So this guy had gone to the AMC session to get it off his chest, his concerns in the AMC session. This was shut down and moved on by the lead facilitator at Workington, the guy who kind of brought it up here. Shut it down. Shut up. Now, the reason that the lead facilitator done this, and this is partly my fault, that when I thought this was a real thing that was going to happen, I said that you should play to this guy's ego. You should say, can you be a director of the CIC? Because it will help us to no end. It will have more Andy's Man Club involvement, which he was banking on anyway. He needed to use that Andy's Man Club involvement. And it will give you an in at Sellafield, which anyone who knows West Cumbria, that's the money. Yeah. So if you have an in there, you can get support and funding much easier. So I said, play on this guy's ego, ask him to become a director. This was while I was still figuring out, are you real? Are you not real? Not sure. So he asks him. Immediately, like within a week, this lead facilitator asks this scumbag to become a facilitator. So I text him and say, whoa, no, you can't do this. Like, but I thought I had more time before you'd done such a stupid thing. But you've got to stop. Like, he can't be in a position of authority around these vulnerable people. Don't worry, I'll sort it. Didn't at all. Him and the number 2, Mike, will definitely call out Mike. Mike is a scumbag, narcissist, fucking awful piece of work. He now has a mental health position that he uses to abuse women on the side, but that's a different story for a different time. Anyway, so they were shutting it down, yeah? And which also encouraged other people to continue trying to use the garage to support them. So not only did they fucking crush this poor man, but they also validated the conman's garage, which it absolutely is, because none of the work was done to any kind of standard or correctly at all. It caused problems for people in their cars. It just wrecked the whole thing, really. The reason for this, here we go. I've already got it in here. I told you it was a year ago. Sorry for the jumping about. Is that lead facilitator and Mike have been asked to be directors of the CIC. And so rather than heed the warnings of myself and other facilitators that have been ripped off by Mr. Quinn, all of whom are prepared to talk to you, they have doubled down on the relationship, including promoting Mr. Quinn to be a facilitator when clearly he should have no access to vulnerable people. This obviously includes support on Facebook, publicly tying AMC to helping spanners. That was the name of the CIC. That's done now, thankfully. You're welcome, Flimby. Damaging the reputation of AMC as well as other members, citing AMC as the reason they trusted to take their vehicles in with all being charged extortionate prices. So they were getting shit work and paying over the odds for it. And they were all right to do that because it was supporting a charity. You see how these scumbags fucking manipulate everything? Particularly on labour, which he is receiving free, and in some cases having to pay twice, going to a legitimate garage for the work redone properly. There was at least one occasion where that had to happen. But again, yeah, there's one guy doing this work, and it's the guy with learning difficulties, not Quinn. And he was supposed to check over the work, but he couldn't do that because he wasn't qualified. Yeah? This is overly worrying as the reputation of AMC is already in jeopardy across West Cumbria due to the underlying issue that has allowed something like this to happen. Workington, Neil Wayne, and the Boys Club. The Boys Club was a term that we were using. They later themselves come out and called themselves the 100% Club. If you know, you know. And you're just like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be a mental health organisation to help and support other men, including your volunteer facilitators. But instead, you just want to make another little clique. Yeah? Neil Wayne was just happy to be one of the lads. And fuck me, did they play into that. Workington has never run according to the rules put forward by AMC. From rambling 45-minute intros, Mike's introductions, right? This is what you need to say at the start. This one quick A4 thing that we will go through. But Mike would talk for 45 minutes because he just likes the attention. As they all do. As all narcissists do. Yeah, they want attention and they want people dependent on them. Scumbags. 45-minute intros to satisfy the wants of an individual to burning bridges with Workington Town due to little more than ego, and even sending a blind man out alone into the dark of the night. That was the lead facilitator of Workington and the head of groups, Neil Wayne. They sent a blind man out into the dead of night. And then they didn't give a fuck. Safeguarding? Non-existent. Again, head of groups. Now, quickly on that. When different areas get Andy's Man Club groups, they're supposed to get an area lead. Someone that lives locally, can travel down to the head office, but can be the liaison between the two and can sort out any problems. Workington didn't get one of those for 2 years. And I quote, because I'm not fucking letting anyone else have this, because I used to go on holiday in Keswick and I fucking love it. So Cumbria suffered because this fat fucking prick wanted to keep it. Make that make sense. Yeah? All you're supposed to be doing is providing a safe space for men to talk. But they can't do that. And again, it isn't just to talk, it's to love bomb you and make you dependent on them. So you keep going back, so they can keep putting numbers up on Facebook, so they can keep getting the money rolling in, so they can keep being the fucking big I am. Look at Luke Ambler, yeah? He has built a whole career off this, and he still doesn't have a fucking clue about mental health. Oh. Ego, even sent a blind man out in at the dark of the night. As AMC has expanded over Cumbria, the issues have only continued to grow, and should anyone try and address an issue, they are belittled and then ostracised. This has grown to such a point that service users, not just facilitators, are openly scared to upset the boys' club for fear of being banned. Certainly not a non-judgmental safe space. Neil Wayne fucking hated me from the start because I would not bow down and kiss the ring. It's worth stating this as well. On the first night, and all throughout, it's all about brotherhood and the brothers and fuck it. Yeah, this is more emotional manipulation. It is just fucking gaslighting. I need to sort the dogs out. Give me 2 seconds. Can't remember what I was saying. We'll carry on. Some key examples of this would be someone put forward as the lead for Maryport. Objections were raised by many and ignored. This, as predicted, has caused barriers to entry in Maryport and destroyed the guy, undoing the work he had done on improving. Yeah, so they wanted to open a new club, and again, they chose this guy who just... He was known in the area, which, as stated, created barriers to entry, but he wasn't there. I quite like the guy, but he'll never be there. He's not that person, and to do that to him was cruel. And they keep doing this to people. They keep putting these people in either lead positions or even just promoting them to facilitators to make them feel better, I suppose, but that puts everyone at risk. And then they walk about and be like, oh, Andy's Man Club saved my life. And you're like, but your life hasn't got better. You're still depressed. Your head hasn't got any better. You just go there on a Monday, put on a show, and then go home and fucking drink yourself into a stupor or scream at your wife or whatever. Yeah, they are not actually improving. They're just putting on a fucking show. It's disgusting. When the Cockermouth lead reached out to Steve is the Workington head facilitator, reached out to Steve and Neil, concerned that he was the sole facilitator at Cockermouth one evening, well against safeguarding. He was coerced into ensuring the group went ahead despite your safeguarding rules. Yeah, he was forced to make sure that that this club went on. Doesn't matter about his safety, doesn't matter about any of the procedures, doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter, because we're Andy's Man Club and we'll do what we want. Scum. The mess that was opening Whitehaven, including having to move venue and losing a facilitator, as it is beyond obvious that the only club that matters to the AMC office is Workington, further demonstrated by the huge gap between it being opened and a visit from AMC, despite other clubs receiving visits. Yeah, so when we opened Whitehaven, we first got sent to... One of the stipulations about the clubs is that they don't have other people around to help protect confidentiality and stuff like that. So one of the reasons that we had to move the venue at Whitehaven was because they had training on a Monday night for football and whatever. Something that if we'd had an area lead in the area, as we were supposed to do, but we didn't because Neil Wayne wanted to fucking keep it, never would have been an issue. It's just pathetic and extremely unprofessional. Let's remember, Andy's Man Club was started in 2016. This is 2023, 2024 time. Yeah? You've had all this time and they done fucking nothing. They still only had 2 safeguarding officers. And if you had an issue getting in touch with them, good luck. Or even getting them to get back in touch with you after you filled out the little form and said, listen, we've had an issue tonight. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't get in touch with you. They have had, I don't know anymore, let's say it's been a year, and there were certainly changes after this. So maybe they've upgraded their they did bring in a new safeguarding lead. They did. But I don't know. Going from my experience, they are just doing the bare minimum at all times to scrape by and appear like they are what they say they are. Yeah, and we didn't get any support in opening Whitehaven. When a new club opens, there's supposed to be people from head office coming up and helping out. We didn't get any of that. We got left the fuck alone. Now, I personally am thankful for that because, again, I wouldn't bow and kiss the ring of the bully that is Neil Wayne, and nor would the other facilitator who came with me to Whitehaven. I was going to leave Andy's Man Club entirely after the year. I'd wanted to leave before that because of the issues of fucking Mike and these scumbags. And beyond that, just some of the people who turn up. And how dare they keep turning up to do the same shit time after time, just repeating the same shit time after time after time after time because they want sympathy and attention. They don't want to get better. They probably don't even fucking feel what they say they're feeling. They just know if they say these certain words, they'll get a certain reaction. I ain't about that. Not at all. Lost myself again. Yeah, so they didn't come up. Oh, you know what? Let's mention this now as well. Because of Neil Wayne's ego and the total disregard for treating Cumbria like anywhere else, not that these problems don't exist in other places, because they absolutely do. When they opened Wigton, they had to scramble around to try and get an urn for the tea and coffee and stuff, because Neil Wayne, rather than travel up the night before or in any way, shape or form prepare for the opening of a new club in a new area where you're going to have people turning up for the first time, decided, I'm not coming up because his back was sore. Maybe it was, yeah, perfectly legitimate thing, but why do you not, like, you build up these club openings over months. Why are you not fucking prepared? Even if something like this happens, you should still be prepared. And again, he needed to be there for opening night because he's Neil Wayne for this Wigton club. This was being opened by a facilitator who became the lead of Maryport after they absolutely destroyed the other one. So, no different to the Whitehaven one, except that Neil Wayne had to be at that one because these people would bow and kiss the ring. Fucking tossers. Receiving visits. Another blow in this regard is the Pride of Cumbria Award that across the board... proper lost my spot now. Sorry. Fucking TikTok. No idea what I'm doing. Another blow in this regard is the Pride of Cumbria Award that across the board has upset many facilitators that have been shown you are only acknowledged if you are part of the boys club. This is felt by a big majority of your Cumbria volunteer team. This has been driven home by Steve's celebration of making the Times and Star in Working an AMC WhatsApp group. They do not see this as a celebration of AMC Cumbria, just themselves, galvanised by constantly reminding people it's their club. A growing culture of misogyny, homophobia, both which have been raised as concerns by different individuals to no change, other than them being ousted. Heavy promotion of gambling is also a big cause for concern, and the glorification of drinking culture has already knocked at least one alcoholic off the wagon. Absolutely did that. The gambling thing was... great marketing from, like the competition guys. Some of the competition guys come and got in and sponsored and gave money and blah, blah, blah. It was marketing. Like, that's all it was. Just marketing. Great marketing by them. Scummy and disgusting, but brilliant. Very clever. Knocking alcoholics off the wagon. Steve went down to the Houses of Parliament, as did the lead facilitator for Whitehaven and the lead facilitator for the second working group that opened. They had to protect a young girl on the train because this guy got pissed and then decided that, well, he could do whatever he wants because he's Steve and he's Andy's Man Club, and proceeded to try and make this girl uncomfortable. That's someone you want leading your Andy's Man Club? Someone you want telling other men how to be and how to build themselves up? I think not. Due to this continued and worsening image, there is a growing movement of distrust towards AMC. This was well across Workerton and the local area. Like, the amount of times you hear people saying, oh, you've got to fucking stay away from there because of the people that go. And you're there being like, listen, I fucking get it. It's not all clubs. Whitehaven was great. I am still proud of the team that I put together at Whitehaven. I had to stop. I couldn't fucking put this on anymore after all this. Yeah, I feel sick now wearing it, but got to do it for the stream. Growing movement of distrust towards AMC, with it often coming up that wives, girlfriends, etc. are saying not to attend. This has been cultivated and protected by Neil, his attitude on full display at the training we attended at Hyundai Manor when he singled out and belittled the guy from Maryport for daring to ask a question he was right to ask, as Neil was in the wrong. I don't remember what that was. Like I said, this was over a year ago. But they brought us together for some training, and fuck me, what an insult it was. It was come together, and we're going to be dead sad and depressed because we're talking about suicide, and it's a serious, serious issue. It is a dramatically serious issue, but anyone who's fucking been through the other side of depression, suicidal thoughts, everything like that, they all implement dark humour, because that's how you fucking do it, innit? That's how you get through. Everybody knows. They talk about breaking the stigma, but they need the stigma to remain so that they can remain relevant. So they pile on to the stigma. Awful. Yeah, I also got bullied at that training. It's my fault more. He said something. I think going back to like the dickheads who just keep attending and wasting everyone's time. He said something about that. So I laughed and agreed to one of my Whitehaven facilitators, and he went fucking nuts on me. And he's just like, fucking why? Afterwards, the lead facilitator for Whitehaven called him out on it. It was like, what are you doing? Like, that was, like, there's no need. Yeah, I know. Didn't apologise. Like, that was it. Yeah, you got away with it. Fucking tosser. I've attempted to condense the events of the last year and a half as much as possible to give you an idea of the issues we strongly believe you should look into. Disappointingly, this is just the start, for as the Charities Commission put it, this does qualify as serious non-compliance with a charity that damages or has the potential to damage its reputation and or the reputation of charities generally. Let's also talk about the secret bank account that Workerton had. Again, told to be set up by Neil Wayne. That's charities fraud. Yeah, you were donating money and it was going to this secret Workerton bank account. I'm not going to give you the name now, but if anyone ever wants to find out, just get in touch and we can follow that through on proper means, because I might fuck dealing with the Charities Commission again. Someone else can do that. But yeah, they set up this secret bank account. So you were donating money to Andy's Man Club. It wasn't. It was going to the boys. Yeah, it was going to the boys fund. That's real naughty. That's charities fraud. I am aware this is an overly negative situation, so I must say I still believe in the good AMC provides, and I'm doing my best to protect and help it thrive in Cumbria. However, if these issues are not resolved, the detriment to the area will be huge. Following this complaint, please send me details of your complaints policy so I can feed back when we can expect the result of an investigation for our own safeguarding and duty of care. Now, let's quickly look at this complaints procedure, because there is a bit on here, says about confidentiality. All complaints will be handled with the utmost sensitivity, and information will only be shared with the relevant individuals to the complaint, only those that need to know. If exceptional circumstances dictate that confidentiality cannot be maintained, the complainant will always be informed of the complainant will always be informed of the situation. Neil Wayne, informed immediately. He's number 2, Tom, informed immediately. They took holidays to travel up to talk to the Workington Boys Club. Immediately, Steve was on to the Whitehaven Head Facilitator. What the fuck's Dan doing? Why has he gone to head office with this? Because he's trying to talk to you. He keeps trying to bring it up. We keep trying to tell you that Mike is an evil, evil man. And you don't fucking listen. You don't fucking care. So, that's gone. It's worth noting at this point as well that they did have a whistleblower policy. That mysteriously went missing. Like that. Fucking scum. Let me get to the response. So this was from Sabrina, the CEO. Sabrina became the CEO because she was a friend. She volunteered a little bit for them, and then boom, there you go, run this massive charity. That doesn't really follow employment law. While we're on that, volunteer law is very similar to private law, employment law. There must be a clear route to become a facilitator or a volunteer or whatever. There's none of that. Afternoon, Daniel. Thank you for your email. Really sorry to hear that you and others are experiencing these issues. I can assure you that we will get these looked into. What I do need is the other individuals you mentioned to email me, blah, 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 blah. No. What we needed was for someone from head office that wasn't people listed in the complaint to come up and talk to us and listen to us. Because, as stated, you are going against the clique here. Yeah, they tried to make ramifications for me, but I didn't give a fuck because they're all fucking scumbags anyway. I couldn't give two flying fucks their opinion of me because it's not even their opinion of me. You know what I mean? It's their reaction to being called out. So no, you just need to come up and talk to us, and we need to see all this through properly. That really didn't happen. Hi Sabrina, thanks for sending the complaints policy and I hope you enjoyed your leave. I have forwarded your email to the Whitehaven, Maryport, Cockermouth and any Just Leave facilitators. The ones I have spoken to since have been disappointed that it appears no one will be coming to engage as part of the investigation. Helping as much as possible, Just Lead Facilitator and Maryport Lead Facilitator are two of the victims of Mr. Quinn's deception so far, something Just Lead Facilitator is eager to discuss with you. However, now facing high levels of anxiety at having to produce an email for you. Again, so this guy was directly linked to the Workington thing because he was the second Workington lead. They don't create a new Facebook group or anything like that. So for ages, they were trying to tank the numbers at this other one to try and keep their numbers up. Beyond that, they also started fudging the Workington numbers so that they could look like they were important still. Just egos. Anyway, regarding the greater issue of Workington, obviously due to the varying mental health states of facilitators and attendees, your investigation will be no easy task. I brought you some of the issues we have been faced with and shared what has been expressed to myself. With that, I will not go to these individuals and pressure them to email you when I am already acutely aware of the stress this brings, and I do not fear the repercussions as some others do. This is not to say that they will not discuss said issues, given a genuinely safe space to do so, and when dealing with an actual person. Response to this from Sabrina, the General Manager. Thank you for your email, hope you're well. A lot has been looked into and still is. No, it wasn't. They sent one person up to investigate that was the head of social media or something. So again, don't know how these people are qualified to do any form of investigation or anything, but they sent up this social media guy. The reason they sent him up was because of an incident at the Cockermouth group where someone had left, gone home and got an air rifle and came back. That is why they come up. Nothing to do with this investigation, just another. But because they'd sent someone up to do an investigation, they could just put it all together and keep it under the rug, because that's all they were ever interested in. Please rest assured that if you do not hear anything back, this is not that we are not dealing with things. It is that it is not always appropriate to give feedback details. I can assure you that all of your issues have been discussed and where applicable, actions taken. Not a fucking thing. Emailed to try and escalate it beyond this CEO and safeguarding team that really exist, so that we could talk to trustees and stuff like that, and kind of make them aware so that they put pressure on them to actually, well, do it properly. So this is on 25th September 24. I put this email off for my own sanity. I cannot continue to say nothing. The way this organisation is acting is disgusting. From my own experiences of Andy's Man Club making me suicidal, particularly due to the bullying from people highlighted before, such as Neil, and the overall harmful atmosphere emanating from the Workington Club, still, and the further special treatment I received from yourselves. So that special treatment, again, I felt fucking sick putting this top on. So I had to say to my Workington guys, Whitehaven guys, listen, it's not you. You're doing fantastic. Keep it up. Yeah, accountability, ownership, own it. Go you guys, get better. Fucking all the power in the world to you. So proud of you. But I need to take a break for my own well-being. Immediately, I was out of all the fucking groups. Now, everyone else who'd taken a break, or even left, because some people were leaving at this point because of this behaviour. No, I don't know if any of them raised it, but facilitators were definitely leaving because of the behaviour of these people. Yeah, I was immediately off the groups, off everything. Immediately. Whereas all these other people were still in them, left along. Even after this, were left and left and left until they got this email about the special treatment, which they later asked, oh, what was the special treatment? But as soon as they got this email, all the old people were gone. Like, they knew what the special treatment was. They're just playing dumb. Which I suppose is the right thing to do in terms of protecting an organisation, but you need to sort the fucking issues. Yeah? Especially when you're supposed to be helping people get better and supporting men, and you're not. You're just fucking abusing them. Because all they do is keep you in this fucking victim mentality, so you never get better, you stay dependent on them, and your life just goes down the fucking shitter. Special treatment I've received from yourselves. This has only gotten worse as the gaslighting has been turned right up. I am not going into details over email, as you clearly don't care, as demonstrated the first time when I was forced to reach out. However, I have copied in my colleague Judith, who is a volunteer manager, who has offered her time to help you understand what a volunteer is, what can be asked of them, and she can certainly go through all the ways you are currently failing your facilitators, again, brought up before. This extends well beyond like a safeguarding and stuff. There was an awful lot of pressure that you had to go to these events and stuff, you know, like all-day things, like fairs and stuff like that. If you go to them, you know, like coffee and that is expensive. Yeah, they put the prices right up. You're supposed to get some kind of coverage for that because you're working on their behalf. They should kind of pitch in and help out. None of that. To even ask, fuck me. I remember asking if we could get some rain jackets because we're in Cumbria, one of the rainiest places. Can we get some rain? No, because then we'll have to give it to everyone. No, you just give Workington some rain jackets. That's all we're asking for. You don't have to even tell anyone. But why you're not providing the right equipment for your volunteers is a different question. But we are attending all these events and we're getting piss wet through. Do you want to give us some rain jackets? No. This is Neil Wayne. The only reason he said no was because I brought it up. Because a few months later, guess what fucking turned up? Rain jackets. Tosser. Other than that, I'm prepared to have a discussion on all the ways your safeguarding policy is constantly ignored and encouraged to be by head office. Evidence after my initial email when Tom and Neil were up, unsupervised, not good for an investigation, when a Cockmay facilitator was told to ignore safeguarding discussion, had just weeks before at Hyundai Manor when raised concerns regarding the ongoing issue of ratio attendees to facilitators. I can't fully remember that, but I think someone brought up about the fact that Cockermouth didn't have reliable facilitators week in, week out. So what do we do? And the answer was, the clubs always go on. No, you can't keep people safe. That is the number one priority, or it's supposed to be. I have no doubt that I will be ignored and belittled again. However, even in my break, I keep being brought horror stories. Know this, men talking is necessary, and your raising awareness has been fantastic. I am not attacking you. I am highlighting issues for you to talk about. Follow your mantra. It's okay to talk. We are more than happy to set up a meeting to advise you and direct you to the support clearly needed closer to the head office area. So, we then got an email back from Luke Ambler, the top guy, the guy who started it all, Mr. Mental Health, who's gone off and launched himself a pretty nice career off the back of all of this. Afternoon all. Thank you for your email, Daniel. Here at AMC, we take any and all issues and concerns seriously. That's a lie. Are treated with sensitivity and due diligence. That's a lie. Outcomes may not be one every individual wants, but that's the same after any investigation. There was no proper investigation. Yeah. And, again, after the dust had settled a little bit, some of the changes started coming in. They were just full of shit. One thing they did do that they couldn't tell us about, and Mr. Quinn had no involvement with AMC, never will, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Told him he couldn't go back to work at him, though, and then refused, like, they didn't let anyone else know. So that guy could have wandered into any other fucking Andy's Man Club and just put on the same shtick again. Again, just fucking bizarre. Let's also talk about another huge safeguarding issue that they had. Last year we had some riots. Everybody remember them yet? We got sent an email that looked like this. Yeah. Someone at the riot in one of the Andy's Man Club facilitator hoodies that you can buy on the website. Same as the t-shirt, same as the hat. Because they didn't want facilitators to seem special. Even though 90% of the people that want to be facilitators know that you're already coming into this position of authority. Like, that's all they're aiming for. So some people actually go out and buy these tops just to say that they're Andy's Man Club facilitators. They're not. They are not. But you can do that. I raised this 3 weeks in. This isn't... There needs to be something that only facilitators have so that you can't easily besmirch the organisation. Nah. Again, that was raised to Neil Wayne, who fucking shut it down. But it would have avoided this, wouldn't it, you daft cunts? Sorry. I'll start by saying I'm extremely sorry to hear how you are feeling and really hope you feel better. Fuck off. I'm not sure of all the finer details of what's happening here, but I can assure you the assumptions made of us as a charity aren't correct. They were not assumptions. As I hope that I'm explaining to you, these were genuine, real experiences that I was trying to relay back to them, and fuck no. Well, we know what happened. Neil Wayne, Michael Aister, they all fucking, well, just carried on the show. Yeah. Narcissist gaslighters, they don't let it go. They know what they're doing. And they tend to be quite good at it, unfortunately. Which is why you need to fucking call them out. Which is why we're here. And believe me, I don't want to be doing this. God, I'm sweating. Assumptions, if found to be accurate, are certainly isolated and not in any way a national problem that we have. We had someone who went to a group in Preston and said, fuck me, it's awful. Like, these guys they're just there for themselves and to get their own gratification and stuff like that. Absolutely happening everywhere. Yeah. Again, there may be some clubs that function well and have good people in, but that isn't the way Andy's Man Club wants them to run or encourages them to run. Working is the norm. That is fucking lads, boys club, right? That isolates so many people and isn't healthy. That's where your misogyny comes in, and there's a lot of misogyny, a shit ton of misogyny. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes the woman can be an issue in someone's life, but fucking, it's not all women. Yeah, sometimes you, the man, are the arsehole, and they wouldn't say that. They would. I would. And the amount of times that it genuinely helps someone, and you could see the cogs turn and the fucking penny drop, and they realise, shit, I need to make changes. That is how you get better. But no. Don't you worry, brother. You're all right. They just don't understand you. Fucking get rid of her and come here and stay with us. That's isolating you from your loved ones. That is another fucking cult tactic, you daft pricks. Oh. Yes, we have come a long way in 8 years and grown rapidly, but we are still very much a learning organisation. Well, you know what you should have done is brought in someone who knew what the fuck they were doing instead of giving jobs to their friends. Again, entirely against employment law, and again, highlighting the fact that they don't actually give a shit. It's all about them and fucking supporting them and keep the money rolling. And aren't we fucking great? The amount of people who come up, oh, Andy's Man Club, you're so great. I love what you're doing. You've got no idea. You've got no idea. You've got no idea what goes on. You've got no idea of this shit show. You've got no idea. Just because people say they're doing good things, that's usually a fucking big red flag to say, yeah, watch this person because they're probably up to some shady shit. We certainly want no man or any individual associated with AMC to feel the way you do. Yet keep having fucking suicides, and they reckon that that's unavoidable. And, oh, there were no signs. Yes, there were. You just ignore them because you want to keep on with your own little fucking merry parade. I believe in this with Sabrina. Again, unqualified friend Sabrina. At this stage, to arrange communications with you and the team and hope everything can work out. There was no proper communication. There was never any, right, let's go up and fucking see what's going on here properly. None of that, ever. I never once got a meeting, neither did the Whitehaven League facilitator, Mary Port Cockermouth, Energist. None of them got a meeting. None of them got to speak to anyone, despite fucking being part of this. Disgusting. Luke, these aren't assumptions. These are my observations and experiences within Andy's Man Club as a facilitator for more than a year and a half. Sharing these experiences with people such as Judith, it is clear to see there are holes within the organisation, particularly with regard to volunteer facilitators. As for Sabrina, it has been clear from my first email that there has never been any interest in the truth, and witnessing the handling of multiple issues, the only learning done is how to keep people quiet and pressured to carry on regardless. In my response to Sabrina, I have once again offered to have an actual conversation. Still don't understand why that's such an issue. It was such an issue because they knew that they would be caught up in all of their fucking lies. I have also once requested whistleblower policy as it was removed from the facilitator portal and is clear in the safeguarding policy that you have one. Could you ensure I receive it, please, as I need to review that the same as the safeguarding policy, also ignored, highlighted, and once again ignored. Never got that whistleblower policy. It was definitely there. We definitely got rid of it just after these complaints came in. So they did produce like a handbook or something, but all of this stuff carried on down at work, and Mike, the fucking scumbag, had to take a step back. That lasted about a week, and then he was back doing it all. But again, now he's got a proper mental health job, and he uses that to get birds' numbers and fuck with their heads. What an awful human being. He once sent his child home in a shitty nappy to prove a point. Yeah? He left his daughter in her own shit to prove a point. That's the type of people that are running these fucking clubs. Disgusting. You know what? There's so much more. There is so much more. And we'll just have to do it another time. I'm up to here. Thank you very much. We'll cut this up. We'll put it on YouTube. back on TikTok and whatever else. Start calling out these scummy fucking organisations and stop being emotionally manipulated. Just because they say they're doing something good, that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be any standards and that they can do whatever the fuck they want. That isn't the way that it works. So yeah, we'll probably do a fucking second one just because I'm knackered, exhausted, starting to sweat. Yeah, cheers.